Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day.
Well, good morning to all of my beautiful coffee beans. TGIF this beautiful morning. Guys, come on in. We've got a few things to clarify for you. We've got some answers about the church.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. So life ain't easy, yo. I think there's a reason, though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
I hope you have enough food there for everybody, John. I'm just saying, we're a little hungry over here. It's nice to see you. I hope my beautiful coffee beans are doing amazing this morning. I'm Bullhorn Betty. We've been covering the case of Nancy Guthrie. She's an 84-year-old grandmother that was ripped from her bed in the middle of the night by a lunatic masked gunman. And we have all been sitting here following this case for 20 days. We've got DNA. We've got something that happened in the middle of the night. There should be some type of video evidence, photograph of some sort. We've got a lot of stuff, but we don't know what happened to Nancy. We don't know where Nancy is right now. It feels like we're no closer to solving this case today than the day that this happened. Except, law enforcement has decided to say that, the family's cleared. Thank you guys. So I want to say good morning to you guys very quickly, and then we're going to get kind of moved on with the show. We've got a lot to cover this segment, and we're opening up the phone lines. We had a great turnout last night, phone lines. Listen, I was just talking on the TikTok, which you guys will see that coming out after this show, about an hour or two after this show ends. I'll drop the live from TikTok here in the video section. But, we've always had a dynamic in the true crime genre, period. And I thought this was very, very interesting, especially last night's calls. Our genre here is 50 and 60-year-old women, okay? That is the genre for true crime. It's the true genre for true crime. Majority of us, we have very limited males interested in true crime. So the dynamic of my phone being the majority males yesterday was a very interesting perspective. It's a warm perspective. It means more people are engaging with the true crime community, and it probably does have a lot to do with the fact that she's a grandmother and everybody looks at this innocent face and sees a doting grandma, right? And it's kind of hard because we're all just saying, who the hell takes grandma? And I think that that's what's resonating with all of us, and it's pulling at our heartstrings. By the way, Robin, thank you so much. I do appreciate you. So I thought that was a different because, when we open the phone lines, as you guys have seen, outside of Turkey Man and maybe like one other person, it's mostly, our phones are mostly women. Last night, that was the first time in a 5-year history that we had the majority men on the other end of that phone. So very, very interesting perspective, interesting analytic. It's showing that this case here is resonating with a lot of people. And you know why it's resonating with a lot of people, because of the details of the case. They're unnerving, to say the least, absolutely unnerving. And we're going to get to some of those talking points that were brought up yesterday. So, obviously the case is, as you see, the history here, Nancy, for those that are just new to this case, Nancy took an Uber over to her eldest daughter house, Annie Guthrie, and her husband, Tommaso Cioni. They have a child together, or children, I can't remember. We're going to get a little insight of their household too. Once you see this photo, I think it's going to change your image or your impression of Annie. Because at the end of the day, we're hearing that they're cleared. We're still kind of looking at them, as many are, because they just don't understand, which many of the times when people are cleared, we don't understand. The public doesn't understand. It's evidence behind the scenes that we're not privy to. And that's my belief of what's going on. Now, Annie's husband, Tommaso, drove Miss Nancy home that evening around 9:30 something. They arrived at their house around her house around 9:48, where the garage went up. We heard that Tommaso walked her in the home. Okay, he didn't just drop her off, throw her out of the car and say, hey, go on in. He helped his mother-in-law into her home. So, and then he left. So again, that's what really brought Annie and Tommaso in. If they had never had dinner with their mother that night and he had never dropped her off, I don't know if we would have looked so side-eye at them as we did when we found out their close contact with their mother, and then her disappearing. But we did learn the garage door went down at 9:50, and everything seemed from that point forward seemed normal. It seemed very normal and customary for Miss Nancy's home until about 1:47 in the morning. And that's when we started hearing, or law enforcement released. Now, I do believe there's more information. This is what they've chose to release to the public. And they chose to release to the public that a camera went offline. They originally told us it was the front door camera. I don't believe that's the case today. I believe the front door camera was the last camera removed, in my personal opinion. But it's my opinion. It's not facts, and I can't prove it. But when camera went offline, we also saw some images and some videos of this assailant, and it was done on the camera at the front door. We saw the scary image coming in for this 84-year-old frail little lady that has heart problems. We still can't figure out who would want to snatch this grandmother, or why. So I believe those images are from 212, but I can't prove that either. But I digress. So 41 minutes later, from the time this whole ordeal starts at her house to the time her pacemaker disconnects from her app was 41 minutes. The next day, we hear somebody from the church calls the family. That was the story for the first few days, that somebody from the church called the family. And then there was a report that came out in the Daily Mail that said Miss Nancy has not been to church in a really long time since COVID, that she watches her church online. So that's kind of where this story is going to be picking up. We're going to be focusing on this church. Some people have already let you guys know what it is. We do have some information on that, and the information that I saw being stated in the chat is correct. So we'll get through that. But before we do, I want to say good morning to as many of you as I humanly possibly can before we start the show. Melanie, good morning. I hope you are having a wonderful day. West Side Crime Show, it's nice to see you. Sky Bell, it's nice to have you. Eeyore Blues. Bullhorn Betty is present. Our beautiful Sonia is up in the chat moderating for us this beautiful, wonderful morning. Don't forget to tell her thank you. Deanna, good morning. Bombastic, it's nice to see you. Deanna, hello. Our beautiful Melanie, always here. Rise and shine. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope everyone has a good day. Much love to BHB and everyone. Don't forget to hit that like button for BHB. Thank you so much. And that reminds me, guys, we do a lot of research here. I'm exhausted most of the time we come here when the day first starts. So if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up button, because we do a lot of work here to put it all together for you. What are we hearing? And we're putting it in a digestible format for you, so you're not confused at what the true facts are and what the speculative facts are, right? There are speculative facts, right? Those are things that are speculated based upon fact. Those things can go, those are a little more subjective, obviously, and they don't resonate to truth. So we have to be very careful. Baby love, it's nice to see you. John is up in the chat. He's offering to cook anybody in the chat breakfast, by the way. And I was thinking that maybe we would all order some bacon and eggs. Since he's cooking this beautiful morning, Good morning, John. I hope you are doing well this morning. I hope you're doing well. Who else do we have? Oh, it's nice to see you, Julie. Good morning. The real me too, working her rear end off in the chat as well. It's nice to see you, ladies. Good morning. Good morning. Who else do we have up in the chat? I think I said Abby. It's nice to see you. 609. I live in Arizona. Well, I hope everything's going well out there. If you have any perspectives, that we're not talking about on this show because you're right there in Arizona, maybe there's something that we're missing, that we're missing the boat on, that might bring some clarity. I think this new information about the church is going to bring us some clarity. So dreaming of blue skies and sandy beaches, it's nice to see you, love. I hope you're doing well. Plant lady, good morning. Michelle, it's nice to see you, love. I hope you are doing well as well. Mama, good morning. Good morning, YouTuber up in the house. It's nice to see you. Outer Banks, hello, my love. Leslie, it's nice to see you. Dorothy, good morning. Debbie, hello. Our beautiful mama says, I love you. I love you too, babe. Thanks so much. I appreciate you. Freeside, warming us with his grace. It's nice to see you, my love. I hope you are doing well. Mike, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Little Orange Man, it's nice to see you. Good morning. I hope everybody is doing well. Digging Dirt, good morning. Mike, hello. Oma, hello, hello, hello. If I missed you guys, I certainly am sorry. I'll try to get you while you guys are writing into the chat. So good morning, everyone. I'm Bullhorn Betty, like I said, coming into this case, and we are covering the case of this 84-year-old grandmother snatched from her home, from her bed in the middle of the night. What a horrible story. And the story doesn't get any better. The story doesn't get any better. I did want to point out to you guys, we reported 2 days ago about Mexico not being a viable path. I just want to tell you guys that. We reported that from this show. We were the second show outside of the New York Times that reported it. We were the second show out of the New York Times that reported it. Nobody else was reporting that Mexico was out until yesterday. So I just want to let you guys know, if you truly want accurate breaking news, you're going to want to be on social media, and you're definitely going to want to be here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, where we are breaking news as quickly as we possibly can. We're not boots on the ground. Otherwise, your news would be coming even quicker than that. We do not play when we're boots on the ground, because we spend real money to be out there. So you get the news here first, folks. So I just wanted to let you know that we're now starting to hear some mainstream media coming about and talking about how Mexico is not a viable option, and we reported that days ago. So just thought I'd throw that out there to you. We had a great call-in show last night, as I was explaining to you in my intro. The dynamics in this case, the analytics in this case are changing. This case is bringing a lot of males into the fold. There's a lot more men paying attention to this true crime case than any other case that we've had in the past, which is very interesting to me. And, you know, I think it has to do with, at the end of the day, we all love Grandma. Right? Grandma has always been our rock. I didn't know personally any of my grandmothers. Both my grandmothers were deceased before I was born, or knew who they were. I remember my great grandma. I remember her very vaguely, just a white-haired lady with whiskers. I remember that vaguely. My mom is absolutely shocked that I can remember that, because I don't even think I was 2 years old. You know, all of our impressions of Grandma. You know, I've had a lot of ladies in my life, older ladies in my life, that have guided me, you know. And so I think that everybody has this image of Grandma and how sweet and ginger grandmothers are. And I think it pulls a lot of people into this story, because this is Grandma's rule. There you go. There you go. Spoil the kids, fill them up with, but I did have a grandfather, and he did spoil us. He made up for the lack of a grandmother. He would fill us up with candy. That man let us do anything we wanted, literally anything. But you know, we all see this, and I think our hearts, you know, because it's no matter where you come from, we're all human. At the end of the day, we all have a human element. And unless you are a psychopath, and I'm going to keep saying this like a broken record, unless you're a psychopath, a sociopath, or a narcissist, you're feeling this, okay? You're feeling this case. This case is hitting a lot of people like a ton of bricks, especially the families that are separated from their family members, right? The ones that live halfway across the country. I guarantee were a lot of men and women from around this country that purchased their parents a security system, had that paid to be put in, and are paying for the monthly service of the subscription right now around this country because of this case. Because anybody that lives away from their mom, their aging mother or father, this hits you very, like, I live 20 minutes away from my mom. Push comes to shove, I can jump in my car and go there. There's been one time I couldn't, and that's during hurricanes. She's over a bridge. During hurricanes, they shut off the bridges. So when there's an emergency, unfortunately, my mom's on her own. I can't even get to her in an emergency unless I have a boat and another car on the other side of the river, right? So I don't know. I think this hit a lot of people because of the age, because of the fact that somebody broke into this home in the middle of the night and ripped this lady, this frail lady that can't even walk 50 yards without help out of her own bed. It's sickening. It's sickening, and it's gotten our attention. It's gotten our attention, but we still to this day don't know what we're looking at. We don't know what we're looking at here. So let's go over what I've got set up for you today. Now we've got one quick, hey, Common Sense. It's nice to see you. Tara, Toddy, it's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Happy birthday, Jenny's son. It's nice to see you. MK Ultra. I can't understand why her family. I do. We did find out the answer to that, MK. These security systems weren't for security. That's why. This lady felt completely safe in her area, in her house. Completely safe. The security cameras were not for her security. They were originally put up around the house so she could watch the wildlife. So that really was from my understanding, the motivation of these cameras. It was never for security. So if you're not getting the cameras for security, you're probably not going to use the security portion of the service. It was, from my understanding, it was just for the wildlife. She wanted to be able to watch the wildlife out there in the area. And it sounds to me like the people that move out there, that's what they move out there for, to live with the wildlife. You know, you get these nice properties, and you like, even when we were recording, I think it was it Jonathan? I think we were watching Jonathan, and you saw those. They're not pigs. They have a different name. I can't remember the name, but they were like these wild pigs that just, you know, you can be out there watering your lawn or out there talking to somebody, and this wild animal will just come moseying along, dun, 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 like, I'm here. You know, they don't bother them. They just kind of move. Everybody's kind of coexisting there. And I think that's what maybe attracts people to that area, especially people that love wilderness and wildlife and like to have a nice home, you know, but have that wildlife refuge. You know, nobody's safe, and I think that's an important thing, because it is a wild boar, but they're called something different, Jacob, and I can't remember what the name of it is. There it is, javelinas. That's I think that she's got that. Jennifer's probably from Arizona. She's probably like, yeah, I got it, Cupcake. That's what she's saying to me. She's using my own words against me. No. Jonathan is going to go up to the candle. I got him up on the screen. Once we get him moving into a spot, we will be pulling him up. I got him. I'm watching him, so we'll put him up in a little small picture-in-picture window so we can get through our talking of conversations, and then we'll go out there and listen to what he's there. Arizona is right on the border. Yep. But it's the javelinas. That's what they're called. I knew it was something different. They weren't, because I called them pigs, and people were correcting me, and I couldn't remember. But javelinas. And so, you know, it's just a different. You know, like we have. Occasionally you'll see fox here. You'll see some Black Panther, Florida Black Panthers. We've got black bears here in Florida, not very many, but you will see wildlife here in Florida. But we don't have, you know, javelinas or wild boar just kind of meandering on our driveway and saying, hey, how you doing today? You got any food for me, sir? No, I don't got any food for you. So let's get on with this. We got a lot to go over. We got a man that's missing right now. I wanted to show this story because people had sent it to me. This is a man missing from Arizona, which I'm pretty sure this is far away, but it's like we're looking for somebody that has olive skin and like a goatee, and here we got somebody missing right on the heels of this lady. I'm just joking. This has nothing to do with it, in all fairness. This is Michael Bain. He left his house. I really believe this is a self-harm. I don't know why I have that gut feeling that this is a self-harm situation, but I feel like this is a self-harm situation, and I don't know why. And the details aren't listing it as a self-harm situation, but there's just some things, and once you hear the details, I think you'll pick up on it too, in my opinion.
Tempe police are asking for your help in finding a missing man in the East Valley. Go ahead and take a look at your screen. Get a good picture of this man. This is 32-year-old Michael Bain. He has been missing since Monday. He was last seen around 9:40 in the morning near the Curry Road entrance to Papago Park. Officers say that he has type 1 diabetes and he needs his medication. We have crews working to get more information on his disappearance. You can submit a crime tip on the Tempe Police Department's website.
Another.
Okay, that was it. That was it.
For nearly 24 hours, the Lee County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, and then we got that's in Arizona, Tempe, Arizona. Hold on here, and this is already about her, so this is not what I wanted. But this is what happened. So they do have this one up on here. Let's listen to this one. I just thought I'd mistaken it for something else.
Of a Tempe man who didn't show up to work yesterday. Thanks so much for joining us. For 12 News at 10, I'm Kariva Devine.
And I'm Mark Curtis. 32-year-old Michael Bain was last seen on Monday. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly has more from Tempe after speaking to the man's sister.
Brittany Bain is exhausted.
I can't breathe. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I'm honestly just trying to hold it together and stay strong for him so we can find him.
Spending the past 24 hours searching for her younger brother, Michael Bain.
He's just one that would make you smile and brighten your day if you are having a tough day, which I'm trying to keep those thoughts to get me through this very hard an unbearable time.
The last time anyone saw him in person was Sunday night when he went out with some friends before coming back home. The next morning at around 7 a.m., Brittany said Bain called out of work sick. 2 hours later, ring camera footage from a neighbor captured him leaving his Tempe condo, but it doesn't show him coming back. His boss calling.
You see, so, he called in sick himself. He's leaving his house himself. There were items at the house left. Let's get to that.
Brittany the next day asking about Bain, who didn't come in.
Then he did a no call, no show Tuesday, which is not like him. He's at work. He worked.
So he just basically called in and left his house and walked away and never was seen again. The calling out of work and the items left at the house is what's leading me to believe that this might be a self-harm situation.
It's hard.
Brittany, worried for her brother, started calling him, but got no answer. Going to his home.
I got here, I pounded on the door.
Still no answer. His car gone. The landlord let her inside where she found his wallet, but his ID and debit card were taken. What she also found was his medication that Bain has to take on a daily basis.
He's type 1 diabetic, so that's my biggest fear is that he's not getting insulin.
She called Tempe police and reported him missing. She said officers were able to track his phone to Country Club and McKellips and Mesa, but there was no sign of Bain or his phone.
I'm living my worst nightmare. He knows that me losing him would completely destroy me.
Brittany hoping someone out there knows where her brother is, worried about his health and safety.
I just need to find him before it's too late.
Health and safety. I think there's more going on behind this story than meets the eye. The reason why I say that is because we've covered a few of these cases. They close very quickly because the person's found typically within 2 to 5 miles of their home. This one was a little different because he called out at work. He walked out of the house. He left his wallet behind. He left his medication behind, and he never returned home. So I don't believe he ran off. I believe it's a self-harm situation. And the reason why I don't believe he ran off is because he didn't take anything with him, including his medication. He knows that being a type 1 diabetic, you need your medication to survive. And not only that, but when you have especially a diabetic type of scenario, one of two things can happen. You can turn very, very violent, uncontrollably violent. And it's not your fault. It's how your brain, it's something that triggers in your brain when you have too much sugar or too little sugar. And then of course, coma is another thing. When you have too little sugar or too much sugar, it can kill you. Okay. It can kill you. So, there's that there's that with this case. So I wanted to show you guys that because it did come, multiple people from our audience sent this case over to us, and I wanted to make sure that we covered it at least. So the latest from the sheriff is not too promising. It remains an active investigation, and as long as leads come in, they'll continue to investigate the leads. So it sounds to me with this statement here, the way it's written, is that the 40,000 leads that have come in have moved the needle nowhere. Nowhere. Aw, thank you. Aw. I appreciate it. My mods work well. We're kind of, I think that the everybody's kind of chilled. Everybody that there was something that happened 5 years ago, and I told you guys when we came on here and we started covering the Summer Wells case, and our team was literally just attacked for no good reason. No good reason. And viciously attacked. Our Olivia, sweet as pie. You know, Jonathan comes from a problematic background. My background, you know, is not that bad, but it's not that good either. But either way, we're all, you know, just trying to help out in this little girl's case the best we can, applying pressure, you know, getting some interviews and stuff like that, just seeing if we could help. And law enforcement was receptive to it. They were really receptive to it until the hate channels came about and ruined the good that in my opinion social media can do in these cases. And they have pissed all over it for 5 years, and now we're trying to move all the drama queens out of the true crime and put the people that really care about true crime in this area. And we're trying to make sure that we're definitively defined, right? We want to be defined of them, and then, you know, this. And so it's been quite difficult. And the attacks that we were all under, I told you that it would take me 5 to 10 years to clean up these streets. If you guys were with me back then, you remember me making those statements. I said it's going to take me about 5 years to clean up these streets, to get this back on an even keel and an even platform. And I've worked my ass off to make that a reality. And I put myself out there. I've had to sue people. I've spent a lot of money, not just for me, but for the betterment of this community and the betterment of this platform. It's cost us a lot. It cost me a lot of my reputation. It cost me a lot, but we're here now, and you never see trolls here is because we block the crap out of these people that come in here and disrespect these cases. It's not us disrespecting these cases, it's them. It's that they're too small-minded to realize they're the problem. So at the end of the day, we've worked very, very hard for the protection of the people on this platform. We continue to do it. It was a fight. It was an absolute fight. Several problem people, some on our side, some on their side, lost their channels as a part of this battle. And a lot of people lost a lot of money having to go to court because of this battle. We were done dealing with it. And we're going to continue to reclaim our position and our rights here in the true crime community. And now it's time to start fighting with the government, okay? The government that keeps putting their foot on the neck of social media so they can have their propaganda machines. I'm done. So we're going to start going after some communities. We're going to start going after and standing, because this is a profession. There are people that come here every day to do their profession with integrity. And if they want to lump us in with everybody else, there's nothing. I've watched Jonathan do straight shenanigans. What he's done out there was just provide us a little insight, and he's being dogged. I don't like that. That's unfair. And it's totally unfair. And that's not a person that I really care to fight next to at this point. So I'm saying this from a place of truth and honesty. All right, guys, let's get over here. Pima County basically saying that they'll follow any leads that come in. So apparently the 40,000 leads that have come in have gone nowhere. Okay, that's the reality of the situation. They've gone nowhere. Yeah, he's going good. He's doing a good job in Arizona. He is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, he's been calm, cool, collective. He's not been a hothead. He hasn't done shenanigans. In all fairness, sometimes the shenanigans keeps the case going. Look at they're starting to close up shop, right? There's a lot of media that are pulling away from the case, and that's such a shame because the case is not over, but I know why. I know exactly why they're pulling away from the case. They're pulling away from the case, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. Because I think we hit the nail on the head yesterday. And it comes down to this statement. Is it this one? No, it's this one. This one right here. Because nobody's seeing the Guthrie family. The Guthrie family was willing to pay $4 to $6 million for their mother back, but they're not willing to provide. I mean, we've got donations from an attorney in a different state, not even in Arizona. We've got the FBI raising funds for a reward, but nobody in their family. Their family is a very well-to-do family, yet they're not providing any type of financing for a reward to help aid in finding their own mother. I think that's starting to start wearing on people. Not that I'm criticizing the family at all. I just think that this is the way normal people look at a situation like this. And we're not seeing them come out. We're not seeing them no. Well, we used to be that's anyways. But what we're seeing here is we're not seeing them organize any searches. We're not seeing, like, we expect, I think us here on YouTube and in the true crime genre, we expect certain things because we put so much of our time. We don't get paid like mainstream media. We don't have sponsors. We don't have boards of directors. We don't have lofty, silos of money to send, 15 million reporters and crew out to a site. We don't have that type of dynamic. We work for it. Okay. We invest our money. We invest your money. We invest what we get from these sites on these cases. We put our blood, sweat, and tears in it, not some corporate blood, sweat, and tears in it, right? And so we take personal responsibility of these cases. And when we, as the true crime genre, put we put skin in the game, right? We put real skin in the game. We put real finances up. We put real cash up. We put ourselves up. We go out there and do these things. So we expect something in return. We do all of this free of charge. We spend and spend and spend. And for the people that we do this for, they get these services free of charge. And even after mainstream media leaves them holding the bag and not helping them one iota, we're still there helping them. We're still there after mainstream media leaves everybody high and dry. We're still there. And so we expect very little from the families that we're helping on mainstream media, or from mainstream media on social media. And those requirements that we as a true crime community is if you do have resources. If you don't have resources, we help you get resources. That's the beauty of true crime and crowdsourcing, right? That's one thing that social media does better than anything else is crowdsourcing. We crowdsource everything. Okay? It's the way we survive out here and how we compete with the likes of these big organizations. We crowdfund. So if families have the resources, we expect them to pony up a little bit of them. Okay? Just put some skin in the game. Right? And so we go out there and we search for these people. Like I've got sponsored $160 boots, snake boots in there that I'm going to end up, if I go out to Arizona, I'm going to have to take those snake boots. Right? So we have real money invested in the work that we do. So we expect very little from the families that we help. And this is just all, blanket. This is what we expect all over any case that we cover. So we expect them, if they have the resources, to put some skin in the game. And if they have the ability to get out there and do searches or organize searches, we expect them to do that. Now, granted, this is a well-to-do family and a famous family, so I'm not expecting them to go out there and search for them physically themselves, okay? I think that would create for this particular case, I think that would create a problem. It would bring the wrong type of help in, if you ask me, okay? But they have the ability to hire people to run these searches, and they have the ability to hire people that aren't so well known, that aren't going to bring the wrong type of people into the search or into the fold, and stuff like that. I never go out in the woods without my snake boots. Well, I stepped on a snake. I have a real life story on why I don't leave without my snake boots when I'm out in the wilderness. Okay, I'm just saying, and I just want to say, Ren is the one that sponsored those boots. So God bless Ren. I haven't seen her. I know she used to watch a lot from the bushes. So she was the sponsor of our snake boots. And I'll never forget them, but I will always take them with me anytime I got to go out into the field. So anyways, guys, we have almost 1,000 people in here. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the Bullhorn Betty channel, please consider subscribing. We just kind of cut through all the noise here. We have real questions. We understand the family has been cleared, but it still doesn't change these problems that we're having in the case. As you know, we want to know about the church. Okay, if you weren't here at the very beginning, I think it was Skylar had put some posts in the chat that were accurate, okay? What I'm hearing about the church, because it's been so confusing this whole time. What's going on with this church? How is this a joke? Did the family get a call, or was it the perpetrator calling them, acting like they were a churchgoer just to get them to realize their family member was missing? You know, you have those questions. But we do have an answer for you. It is my understanding that, yes, she does watch church online, but she doesn't watch church online alone. That's the caveat. So it sounds like a few of her friends every Sunday get together and watch the church service online together. Now, that explains why when she didn't show up, they were very concerned, because this is something they do every Sunday and have done every Sunday since 2019. So this was a major change in her behavior. Not showing up concerned them. They reached out to the family. That is my understanding of the church. So like I said, I know that the church is, and I even said maybe there's an innocent explanation, that I was also concerned about this call from the church, especially in light of the report from the Daily Mail. So the Daily Mail was accurate. She did not attend church physically, but she didn't watch the church service alone either. So there's the mystery. We found the mystery. So now, yes, Nancy was watching church online, City of Angels. That is correct. So it caused confusion, because at the very beginning of the case, this is what caused confusion. Sheriff Nanos stated that she was over at her family's the night before for dinner. Family members dropped her off at the house, and then the next morning, a concerned churchgoer reached out to Annie or Tommaso, their family, to report the grandmother didn't attend church. So we thought, oh, wow, she attended church. So we thought she drove herself to church. She has a car. And, you know, we have a lot of questions, not to rehash everything. Let's just keep focused on this church. So we just assumed she must drive herself to church. Oh, thank you, Marissa. I appreciate that. Welcome to this crazy family. We got the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard. Because I'm a love machine. Ow! So that was the understanding as she went over to this house with a few of her girlfriends. I don't know how many of her girlfriends that they were there, but it sounded like it was like 5. So 5 of them gathered together to watch church service. So that was a more intimate type of group, like church group that they have going on, and they would have definitely missed if if Miss Nancy did not attend. And you got to think, when you get up there, I mean, it's kind of like with my neighbor next door, while I live my life here and I'm constantly working, and oh, thank you, Miss Robin. She gifted 5 Bullhorn Buddy memberships because I'm a love machine. Ow! And we've got, who got those 5 memberships? Who got those 5 memberships? Let's see here. We got Mums the Word, aw, Booger, Melly, Hawk, and Grapevine. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard, guys. Welcome to the fam. We are a crazy bunch over here. So the mystery's been solved. I truly do believe, based on this new information, if this information is accurate, I truly do believe that somebody in her group called her family. She goes every Sunday. She's never missed a beat without calling them and letting them know they were expecting her. She probably talked to them either Friday or Saturday to confirm she would even be there. And it must have shocked them so that they immediately called the family. It was unlike her not to appear. So the church thing, I've been satisfied with the answer, unless the answer is inaccurate, but that's the answer I understand it to be. And I wanted to clarify that with all of you about the church and how they knew she wasn't there. Yes, she does attend online church, but she doesn't attend it alone. Okay, so last night we had some really good conversations about this, and interestingly enough, airport flights and private flights came up multiple times in our reporting yesterday. Did you get 5 more? Oh, good gracious, lady. Oh, good gracious. Robin gifted 5 boards because she likes to hear me say, because I'm a love machine. Ow! She likes to see me supporting up in here like, hey, right? So thank you for that. Thank you. So Tara, Miss Rue, it's nice to see you. Ricky, Shelly, and I made light. It is nice to have you aboard. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard. You are going to need them over here. We do hit our heads against a lot of hard surfaces covering these cases. Trust me. We get a little cray-cray over here. It's like, what the hell is going on? Oh, sorry. What's going on? We got a beep button. All right, let's get through this. So Trump rips, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Trump rips Sheriff Nanos a new butthole. He does. That whole thing with the signal sniffer, we were never supposed to know that technology exists, folks. Good morning, Brittany. It's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Christy, good morning. The plane idea. Y'all think this is well organized with a plane? He can't even wear a holster. True. You're true. True. I agree with you 100%, Christy. You're true. Okay? That was the biggest thing. We're not dealing with a rocket science here, okay? This guy's, it looks like a dumbass, okay? He's a dumbass that in my opinion is just gotten lucky. That's the way I'm looking at this. I don't know who this dumbass is, but they look like a dumbass. Okay? They're not the smartest tool in the box, okay? We're not being defeated by a rocket scientist here. We're being defeated by a dumbass, okay? That's who we're being defeated by. I truly believe in the heart of hearts, in the pit of my stomach, we are being dumb luck. That's just the thing that comes to my mind. Dumb luck for this dumb individual. And I just think that whatever he did, I don't know. Because sometimes I feel like this was all planned. This was executed by, some type of jitterbug or, wannabe thug group. It feels like something like that, but it makes you wonder who is behind this? Who? I keep going through like employees, this seems personal, but so far away at the same time. Hey, Lethally, it's nice to see you. This whole time I was thinking Nancy's face was on every TV in the entire world, including MX. I felt so bad because I still think she's there, and the perps clearly knew they weren't aware yet. Yeah. Helicopter, probably another distraction to entertain mainstream morons. Probably. Defeated by a dumbass because the sheriff's being a dumbass himself. Yeah, I think that's... Oakley wins the comment of the day. I truly, yeah. So, but I keep thinking, because I may be way off base and I may be wrong here. And this is where we shouldn't be. I'm incorporating something up front that should not be incorporated so much later. And it's the fact that I truly believed at the very beginning that this lady didn't leave the house alive. I don't know why I felt that way from the beginning of this case, but I have. I mean, it's something, even when I saw the masked intruder, it didn't change my position on that. I thought that she left dead. She might have been still alive, technically, but, very, very much injured. So who would want to do that? If we remove the ransom, this is so much more. I saw that on a channel yesterday about the homecoming in November to search the whole thing. It's definitely who has a grudge. That's what I'm thinking. And if we were to apply, now granted, I don't know what that Google Trends is going to really put on here. I don't know how that's all going to work out with it, but if we were to apply this Google Trends, the information, it would indicate that whatever happened last year. So this might just be the end result of something that, and the reason why it's not in everybody's frontal lobe, just right there, it might have to do with, oh, thank you, Baby Love. Baby Love gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. Thank you, my love. And who got those? We got May, Kim Young, Michelle, LK, it's nice to see you, and Janet. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insanity Love. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard, because I'm a love machine. And John's saying, keep it up. Thank you, John. Thank you for showing some love, because I'm a love machine. Ow. So I do appreciate that. So if we were to use those Google Trends, now I'm not really focused too much on the net worth. I know everybody's like, oh, look at her. I mean, I can't tell you. I don't know. Maybe you guys are probably like me. I don't know how many times I'd be watching a movie. It's like somebody would come up like George Clooney, and I'd be like, I wonder what George Clooney's worth. And I'd be on my phone like, net worth of George Clooney, So, I mean, I've done that before just from out of just nowhere. I'm sitting here, I'm watching a movie, something gets up my rear end, and all of a sudden I want to know how much somebody is worth, okay? Somebody that popped up on my screen, okay? So I'm not going to really be fixated on, for me personally, fixated on the net worth thing. However, I am going to be very, very, very much fixated on the floor plan of the house, right? Congratulations, everyone. Aw, so sweet. I understand it's a different country, but something... Oh, this is starting to move up a little too quickly for me. Different country, but something at the scale just an hour away, and you're telling me no one knows about it? Yeah, it's hard for me to believe, but I didn't see a whole lot of Telemundo out there, because when you're dealing with over the border, you're dealing with a different language. And unfortunately, because I don't speak Spanish, to be honest with you, I was shocked because I've known Brian Enton. I know he's from Miami. I heard he grew up in Miami, and this is how stereotype I am, right? So I just assume everybody in Miami knows how to speak Spanish, okay? That's a dumb assumption, okay? I'm sorry, sometimes stereotypes do work out, sometimes they don't, okay? I fell flat on my face because I found out Brian Enton does not know Spanish. So he has to have a translator with him. So that goes and shows you that when you have a communication barrier and say this is not anything that's affecting Mexico, they may not be running with the story. Even sending that reporter an hour away over to the Guthrie household, it's still costing that news organization, even Telemundo and stuff, lots of money to send a crew out there to cover this case for something that their audience may not even be interested in. I don't know if people in Mexico are worried about some grandmother being kidnapped, in the United States of America. I get it, but I know it's only an hour, but I haven't seen any Spanish-speaking news outlets out there on the scene. And if there's no Spanish-speaking news organizations, there's no way to communicate with Mexico and tell them about this. Just my opinion. That could very well be what the situation is, but it was very eye-opening that nobody over there in Sonora really knew about this case. Very few knew. There were some people that knew. I got my straitjacket ready. Definitely crazy for the. Yeah, I know. This is why Ashley Banfield tells people to use incognito to delete their Google searches. Yeah, possibly. But I think the way I've learned it, especially talking to the people that I know here, if you don't know the people I know here, so I'm heavily involved in my political makeup here in my county. And because of that, I go to a lot of different meetings and organizations and stuff like that, and we have retired FBI and CIA agents in our county, and so I've been able to pick their brain over the years to find out certain things. And I got to tell you, if this they know a lot. And for me to believe that we can't figure out what's going on here, in my opinion, is inaccurate. If we can find bin Laden in the middle of frickin' the desert, in a cave, if we can do that, we can figure out what happened to Nancy. So we're throwing all of the stuff we can lawfully throw that we can use in the United States at this case. To me, I feel like they know something more than we know, and they've been keeping us in the dark. I don't know what it is, but the family's not searching. The family's not raising the reward. The family, there's more known to them than there are to us, in my opinion. Because, again, coming back to bin Laden, okay? I'm just going to say the bin Laden effect. That's what I'm referring to. When I say the bin Laden effect, that's what I'm referring to. How in the world can we, the United States, find one single individual halfway across the world in the middle of nowhere in a freaking cave, of all places? A cave. But we can't seem to find out who snatched an 84-year-old woman out of her bed. I don't believe it. With all of the abilities we have with our satellites that we don't know about, the problem is like, just like they're using this signal sniffer, they're using products to help this lady out. They're throwing everything out, and then you got this sheriff that doesn't know how to shut up, right? The one problem, the reason why we're not getting press conferences is because the sheriff keeps leaking. He lets stuff slip right and left. And this is no different with this sniffer. That was never supposed to be known to the public, to the general public, or to anything else. This is highly, in my opinion, probably a classified piece of artillery here that they use that we're not supposed to know about. So Trump is not happy with it. He rips the investigators for revealing this high-tech sniffer looking for the pacemaker. He's very, very upset about that. This is a piece of undisclosed hardware that we've had for, it sounds like probably for a little while. I've also been trying to see, is there any updates from the FBI? When we have no comments, we have nothing going on, we want to know what is going on. The only way we're going to be able to derive anything is watching and monitoring law enforcement. Law enforcement, they get real, very quickly when they start realizing we're monitoring their movements, and they start trying to be more incognito and more stealth. But at the end of the day, it's hard to move big SWAT trucks and big, vehicles to do the type of work that they need to do without moving those vehicles, right? So they always give us a little telltale sign of what it is. They're trying to say if anybody's following, let me tell you something, they cannot do that. It has to be legally challenged. I heard that the sheriff said if somebody's following their SWAT or whatever, they're going to start making arrests they can't do that. And if they do that, then we're going to be raising money and probably we're going to be in that fight. You cannot do that. People, and especially freedom of the press, it's protected by the Constitution. We have a right to know. We have a right. If there's journalistic integrity there, if it's newsworthy, then you have a right to do it. Period. They cannot tell you to. They can tell you to stand back behind a line, but they can't tell you that you cannot follow government officials while they're doing their government job. Okay, that's never going to fly. And see, what they think is they think people like us are not professionals or don't know the law. We do. Okay, I actually went to school. I have an AA in paralegal studies. It's not a BS, but I worked in law firms for 15 years. So I know how to read code. I know how to do my job. I know how to do it lawfully and legally. I know what my rights are. I educate people on my show what their rights are, So I know they're trying to do some things to legally challenge. I can tell you social media is getting sick and tired of the government. We're going to push the envelope to force you to arrest us so we can start legally challenging it, because we're getting sick and tired of being pushed around by the government and by mainstream media, a corrupted mainstream media. Just saying. So the FBI hasn't put out anything very much, but they've been keeping us updated. And it says, will your tip be the one that helps us find Nancy? So they're constantly bringing these call to action, which is much different than Pima County. It seems like Pima County, Sheriff Nanos wants to be the star. He wants to be the person that's sitting down with all these journalists and having one-on-one meetings with the cameras in his face. He seems like he's really getting off on all the attention, instead of giving fair press conferences to the entire world so mainstream and social media can get those things. He is cutting social media out in violation of the Constitution. I want to make sure people understand that this sheriff is violating the Constitution of the state of Arizona as well as the United States Constitution, just to make sure that we are aware this is an underhanded sheriff. If he doesn't mind violating rights of others publicly, then it's to me, it shows who he is, his character. And we have to look at it. I wasn't going to be mean to this sheriff because he seemed like a nice guy until we started seeing him do underhanded stuff. And then that changed our opinion and our impression of this sheriff. And he's lied to us several times. That's not a good look. I can tell you, he's like many other politicians, you don't piss off social media. You just don't. We will ruin your career. You're fired, dude. You're just too dumb to realize this is your last election. This sheriff's is done. Okay? He's been fired. This is it for him. I think he knows it. I think we all know it. They're not going to be hiring this sheriff again. This was a bumbling joke. And I think social media showed that to the world, if nothing more. But if you do have any information, this 84-year-old grandmother is needed. She needs to come home. Dead or alive. I don't mean to sound insensitive. We need to bring her home. Okay? So even if this doesn't turn out good, if you have some information, get that out there. Okay? I can tell you, we give you a multitude of ways to get a hold of us. Here's one of the simplest ways. If you want to get your information out, you go over to Proton Mail. You set yourself up a Proton Mail and you send me an email from your Proton Mail. Okay? If you want me to have some information, that's how you do it. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Okay? It's an encrypted. They don't have your information. You're not asked there. Go over there, set yourself up a Proton Mail. If you want to be completely anonymous, that's what I would suggest you do, and send the information over. We will get it over to law enforcement if need be. Okay? If need be. But get the information rolling. Do it with law enforcement. If you don't want to be involved, set up a Proton Mail and get the evidence over through email to the law enforcement email. To tips@f.fbi.gov. There's anonymous ways to send this stuff out to help this case. Lots of it. So, rock solid confirmation that Luke Daly was the subject of 2 federal search warrants that were served last Friday in connection with Nancy's case. Yes, the information has been out there, but wanted to wait for solid confirmation before posting. No arrests were made. Daly has been detained and released. Daly says he has no links to the Nancy Guthrie case. The Range Rover searched with a tarp in place. I don't know where this tarp came from. It was a car that was tarped, not the Range Rover. Range Rover was obviously moving in transit because it was at this Culver's. So that night, Daly and his mother were detained. His mother's house, searched pursuant to a federal warrant, was seized. The brow and eyes seem different. So according to this trained FBI agent, she does not believe that this is the person outside of that front door.
Now to day 19 in the anguished search for Nancy Guthrie, which now appears likely to see a day 20. And who knows how many more. The big headline today, the reward money nearly doubling tonight. An anonymous donor pitched in $100,000, boosting the reward to more than $200,000 total for any information leading to an arrest in this case. A touching act of generosity, to be sure, but also a troubling sign of desperation. It comes amid conflicting reports about the widening investigation into Mexico. Sources tell News Nation that the FBI has reached out to Mexican authorities to expand the geographic search for the missing 84-year-old south of the border.
Sorry.
But local Mexican authorities are telling a different story. The Attorney General of the state of Sonora, which borders Mexico, Arizona, released a statement today saying they have not received any formal request for collaboration, assistance, or exchange of information from U.S. authorities or Mexican federal agencies about this case. The Attorney General added that if an official request was received, it will be attended to with full willingness. He also said that the office reached out to the FBI, which said there is no indication that Guthrie could be in Mexico. That is the view as well of Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos. But the sheer proximity of Nancy Guthrie's home to the Mexican border raises questions.
Trying to get it.
This map shows her Tucson home in the Catalina foothills is just 75 miles or an hour-and-a-half drive from the border crossing at Nogales. While U.S. authorities do conduct strict checks on people coming into our country, it is very easy to travel south into Mexico without.
So just to let you know, again, we reported 2 days ago, this is not a viable path forward, okay? Not a viable path forward. There is no Mexico situation here. Guys, give me just a second. Let me do some adjustments here so we can have both feeds coming in. There we go. So we have both feeds coming in. I'll make this one just a little bit smaller. There we go. So we got this one. There we go. And then we'll put this one up here. All right. I think that's good. All right, so we have both feeds coming in, so you guys are not missing what is going on out there. It doesn't look like a whole lot is going on. It looks like media, I noticed the tents came down, and there's a lot of missing tents out there in front of Nancy Guthrie's house. Lots of missing tents. So it sounds like media is starting to pack up, which is very, very detrimental, because if media packs up, I mean, we can get out there and search, but we don't want media packing up. And this is where I think a lot of people disagree with, having some type of loud organization or something like that. But in all fairness, it keeps media out there. And right now, nothing is going on. They're staring at a house that nobody's in, waiting for a lead that somebody's going to be arrested. And we're going into week 3. Now, I want to remind you, it took 5 weeks, almost 6 weeks to find Brian Laundrie. And Brian Laundrie was right under our nose. But we had a lot of stuff going on there. You know, the parents knew where he was. I absolutely believe that. We were trying to apply pressure to the family for them to release or tell us the location of Brian so he could be apprehended, so he could face the charges of whatever he did to Gabby, because Gabby had not been found at this point. So, you know, there was a lot of stuff. We made sure that that case stayed alive until Brian was brought home, and we worked our ass off to do it. This case is a much different because we have no person. We have nobody to direct the pressure to. You know, the family has been cleared. We can't go over there and apply pressure to a family that's innocent. You've got the you just got a lot. You've got a lot here that's not working too well for this case, unfortunately. Guys, this is the photo that I thought would change your mind. This is a public profile. This case, they've removed a lot of stuff from online. This is 30, they left 30 photos, 30 family photos on this account for Nancy Guthrie. And this is one of the 30 photos that they have for that public viewing. Okay, so I want to make sure that, because I don't want to hear anybody. This is coming right from Facebook. I cannot blur somebody's face on Facebook, so I don't want to hear, you know, a whole bunch of people. But they've kept a face where the child's looking down, so you don't really see the child's face too well. This is Annie, and I think it's important that you guys look at who Annie is, because so many people, when you don't know somebody, you can make a monster out of them. It's very easy to say that this person could do this or do that. But when you see who they are as a human in their real life, and you see them making, you know, Christmas cookies or decorating the house or doing things as a family, it changes your appearance because they become human to you. And I think it's very important because so many of you guys have prejudged within reason. I mean, it's not like I'm not beating you up. I'm not saying you've done anything wrong. I'm definitely not calling you cruel. Okay. But Annie is innocent. That's it. That's it, Jacob. And so I thought maybe since there's been such this tug and pull and such this horrible taste in many people's mouth about Annie, which, let's face it, her family went off and became something. She was the one left taking care of her mom. Everything I'm learning about them, her and Tommaso, they took care of Nancy very well. They lived 10 minutes away because they regularly did things with their mother. Okay? Telemundo has had a presence at Nancy's home. Okay, thank you. I didn't know or not. But they're saying that they're not getting stuff, so I thought it had something to do with maybe why they're not getting into Mexico. So the adult protection note could be a hint or just another Ellie distraction. Or it could have been a troll. You know, they said the call came from a neighbor, but what if it didn't? You know, it sounded like it was there as law enforcement was coming up to the house or let the house go. It sounds like from my understanding, this is how it went. The family called law enforcement because the mom was missing, and obviously you could see there was violence at the front door. So law enforcement came there. They shut the crime scene down. They ended up coming back like the next day and saying, we do have a crime scene. We do have a crime scene. They went in there and processed that crime scene, and then they opened it up to the public. So, from my understanding, it was after they opened it back up to the public, but before Brian Enton walked up to the door or something like that. That's when this, social worker came by and dropped off the car. That's my understanding. I could be wrong with the timing. I personally didn't see it. I personally haven't reviewed it. I've only heard about it. So I haven't put a whole lot of investigative efforts into it. I saw coverage of the lady from Mexico looking for Nancy. Yeah, she's, I heard that she has permission from the family. Yeah, why don't they release any info they have on a date? I don't know. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the sheriff can't stop leaking information. So they had to put a plug in him. and they can't stop him from talking to media, but they've decided to do one-on-one, and it sounds like his and it shouldn't even be him. It should be the whole reason you hire a public information officer is so that they handle the messaging to the public. Let's hear what Jonathan has to say. It sounds like he's about to start talking. Why can't I get this down here? We got two different things running, and it's not.
One friend, what's going on? What's going on with Nancy? Where's she at? She's supposed to be here at church. What's going on? Doot, doot, doot. Calls Annie or Tommaso. Where's Nancy? She's not here. They go over to the house here a little before noon. Sheriff first said that they came at 11 a.m. in a press conference. 11 a.m. He said it out of his mouth, 11 a.m. And now it was a few minutes before 12 that they came. Only a search around the house for a few minutes before calling doot, 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 law enforcement a little after 12 p.m. on February 1st. But the sheriff, that's another thing the sheriff messed up on the timeline. He specifically said in previous press conferences at the beginning stages that the family came over to check on Nancy before calling authorities 11 a.m.
He did.
Then it switched to just before 12 p.m. So there's another one. But Nancy, was supposed to attend the church, and the church with the friends, the online church, she didn't show up. Now, a lot of people were also skeptical about that by saying, if you miss church one time, does that warrant a welfare check on somebody? But, if that's your life and you're surrounded with friends and you're older, I would think that is reasonable to fear a little bit if you were expecting someone to come to your house and they didn't arrive, particularly if they're elderly.
Yeah, especially if they're elderly.
You might be worried, right? If someone says they're going to come to you and they don't, you'd be worried. You'd be calling around. Hey, where's Nancy? Where's Nancy? She's supposed to come over and watch church with us. She's not here. Where is she? Do you know? Can you go check? Okay. Annie and Tommaso go over the house, check around. Oh my God, there's something happened here. It's called the Pima County Sheriff's. Weird, she said she hadn't been in person since 2020. Mellon says. Well, the article here, I'm reading the article right here by Fox News, and it's saying a neighbor. This is the article, and in this article, it's a neighbor who knows Guthrie says community very concerned installs cameras, and the neighbor goes on to say he said he knew Guthrie from church and from seeing her around the neighborhood. She sat in church, and I knew her from the neighborhood here.
So you guys got to get the gist. He's just going over the details of the case. We've got some other information here. Someone has enhanced the lights. They believe this is where we were going to be doing this, and I'll probably have to do this privately behind the scenes, but it looks like there might be a secondary person there. So I think I'm going to give my hand in reviewing the content of this image and try to blow it up and see what we can do, if we can make heads or tails of it. What has saddened me today, though, is now looking at what's going on out there where Jonathan is the fact that the tents are gone. It sounds like media is moving out. They've gotten the order. This is probably going to be their last day there for some of them. So how long is this going to go on? We're going to have to reevaluate this case and decide whether we're going to go out there and put our hands in when we get back from Sumner County. But I've got everything prepared that we can go out there as soon as we get back from Sumner County. So we can get our tickets, our plane, our room and board, our vehicle, and everything like that, and start heading out there. So we'll see, but if the attention is dead, this costs a lot of money to do. We need to have the audience in order to do it, to make it work number wise. I think JLR looks so goofy with the I know he does. But I feel like I look goofy with my glasses too. Like, I can't stand glasses. I hate the fact that I have to wear them, but my eyes aren't bad enough for contacts yet. So, my eyes are just now starting to change where I can't read. right? So my distance is still really good, and I just need reading glasses. And so I've got to buy reading glasses with the blue hues on it, because being on the computer so much, it gives me headaches from the light from the computer. I have sensitive eyes. So I buy special readers. I don't just buy standard readers. But at the end of the day, I'm in this position where this screen over here is blurry, no matter whether I have my glasses on or not. Whether I look at it, glasses, it's blurry both ways. So it's just far enough where I can barely read it with my glasses or without my glasses. And it's just it sucks. Getting old sucks. But I'm not blind enough to wear contacts yet. So I'm in this freaking stupid phase where I have to wear reading glasses, And so it sounds awful. I'm waiting for my eyes to get worse, so at least I can upgrade to some damn contacts, or get better. I wish they corrected the other way and got a little better. You look beautiful in your glasses. Oh, thank you. Well, I still feel like a dork. I've never had glasses before, except for the last 2 years. I'm adjusting with the glasses, but I got to tell you, it's about, Karen, it's about as bad. My glasses with me now is about as bad as my vape. Okay? If I don't have a pair of reading glasses when I need to read something, I lose my stuff. Where the hell? I don't have any freaking glasses in here. Where the hell I put my glasses in? And I started taking like like the lights, the lights that have the light shades on it, the shades, I started attaching my reading glasses to the shades. So now any place that has a shade, an actual light, like a lamp and a shade, I have reading glasses. The only problem is here in this office, there's no shade. So I've got glasses, but it takes me a little while to find them. Like these are prescription sunglasses. You wouldn't know they're the prescription sunglasses, but they're prescription sunglasses. So if I lean down here, I can see perfect. But if I lean up here, because they're progressive, I can see. It magnifies. But this right here, up here, is for my J drive. See, I can see this more clearer over here with these glasses than I can with my readers. So, there is that. Those are nice glasses. I like those. I didn't like them at first, but now that I can see the screen, I can actually see the screen over there with these glasses on. Well, hot damn. Hot damn! It's hot damn in the chat. Busted Flush, hello! Restaurants even have given me a pair of readers. Oh, really? That's kind of cool. All right, so let's get back to this. Someone enhanced the lighting, so now they're starting to see maybe a potential second person. So this is not all just sitting here by themselves. We weren't able to get to this last night. No, we did get to this last night, didn't we? We did. Are we at the end of the show? Oh, I want to go back to this one because this is funny as all get out. Because this today, it means just the same today as it did yesterday, and it's going to mean just the same tomorrow as it does today. So let me get his face. We'll cover Megyn Kelly's face up. I'm so damn mean.
I'm back in because there's like a new nugget where you're like, I've got to figure out what that means.
I know. I mean, Megyn, I feel like at this point we're one OJ glove short of a circus because it is just wackadoodle crazy every time. Now we have a reality show. I mean, it's just every day I feel like I'm at Guthrie fatigue, and then some new piece of information comes out that just throws me in another tizzy.
Yes, same. So like the reality show info came out yesterday that the sheriff's department has been cooperating for a reality show about their department, though it doesn't feature, what do you call him? Sheriff Banana
Nanos.
Nanos.
He's not the star, but his department is. But yeah, reality TV show was all this whole thing was missing. So, I mean, notwithstanding the fact that you're so funny and you find a way of making jokes out of this, which I really do appreciate. I always find humor in even the darkest news. It's the way you can handle it.
It's the shoes comment. Where are we? There is Wino. It was hard for me to tell. I checked it yesterday. Last night we looked at it. It's hard for me to tell. Let's see what's going on with JLR here. I see he's getting out of the car.
We'll take our tripod,
Maybe we'll lay it out. We're gonna do some stuff today, hopefully.
How does he keep going from a white vehicle to a black vehicle back to a white vehicle?
Looks like a group of ladies from Mexico will be out here today.
Looks like he's in a car. Did he go and take the SUV back and decide to rent the car because it got too expensive for the week? He's in a little
I will say there's
sardine
less
can.
media here than there was
Lot less
any
media.
other day.
They're rolling out, folks. They're done. Media's done. This is what I'm talking
Remember,
about.
the roads would already be filled.
Mainstream media. This is why people are done with mainstream media. This right here. This is why we keep stealing all their business. It's because we sit out there. We do the work. They don't. They want to show up and have 5 minutes and act like they've been out there all day. They're not doing anything. And we're finally exposing
whatsoever.
mainstream media. Look at that. That's, like I said, after mainstream media clears out, who's the one that's going to still keep running the case? It's going to be social media. It's going to be social media. You want to talk about grifters? All you hate channels, you guys should be attacking these damn media places, not social media. You're a bunch of dumbasses.
You really have been following the case closely. So I want to talk to you about a couple of where you think it's going, because I think what you've been saying lately is you're just not buying the official messaging. Like something stinks to you.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of where it's going, we're going into a snowstorm. Like, the case is going cold. Yeah. We're not getting any new updates. We're day 19, headed into day 20. We have no suspects. We have no leads. We have no DNA matches on any of the evidence, whether it's one of the 20 gloves that we're out there searching for or the DNA inside the house. Like, there's no information. We have no clear idea of where to even look. And I feel like we're still looking at this as a kidnapping when statistically, these things have profiles, right? Whether it's a kidnapping or a burglary or a crime against somebody that's elderly, there is a very clear pattern and there is statistical data that follows that pattern. And this has none of that. And it's so strange to me that, I'm saying Sheriff Nanos, he's on his Taylor Swift Life of a Showgirl press tour right now. And the Guthrie family, it's so strange. I mean, you've been covering cases for a while. For me, this is one instance where we have someone that's missing and we are seeing the family very, very little. There's no press conferences. We're not seeing them out searching for their mother. We're not getting daily updates from them. I'm trying not to judge them, but every day I'm getting more and more curious about what's really going on and what information we're hiding, because it feels like the public is not getting the real story.
That's it. And I'm going to keep playing this segment on this show. I'm not removing this. We're going to play this almost daily from this point forward, because this right here, in my opinion, is so important. It's so important, because that's the reality of it. We're not getting Guthrie fatigue, so to speak, which kind of, sort of, maybe, but we're getting the fatigue because it doesn't seem like anybody from their families really doing anything to drive this bus. They're not putting up any additional money. They're not organizing any searches. They're not doing anything. I mean, we got some media. Media is starting to pack up and get out of there. For this family, the Guthrie family needs to figure out a different strategy. This strategy is not working. This strategy of being quiet's not working for them. They're going to lose their opportunity to keep this a main focal point. People are going to move on very, very quickly. They were already getting so much hate because of the family that they are. We got people on the right that are like, oh my God, they got money. Why are we spending so much time? They hated Trump. And it's like, I'm freaking, I love Trump. I get it, but I don't see how you can talk about a grandma like that. We're going to still keep covering this case, whatever the case may be. But for the love of God, this is not political. This is somebody's life, okay? And at the end of the day, Savannah Guthrie worked her ass off to be on the Today Show, to have these type of pull, to have these type of tentacles. So when she needs help, she can call them. Life's not fair, and people want that kind of that kind of, I want to do that too without having to work for it. They think that they just are entitled to it. This woman worked her ass off to call in the favors that she did. If something happened to me or mine, I'm calling in all the favors that I've got too. Okay? I'm not calling all the favors in when I'm covering the cases, but if it comes down to me or my mama or my family, I'm calling in every single, anybody that owes me something, it's time to pay up. Okay? It's time to pay up. Now's the time. That's probably what Savannah did, you know, when it's time. When you call your favor in, I scratched your back, I need your help. And she called Mark Kelly, which is not friends with Trump, but he got Trump in gear and got Trump sending out a whole bunch of stuff to help her. We don't ask when somebody is struggling in life, you know, we don't ask how you're voting, you know, what your blood type is, you know, what your sexual preference is, what are your pronouns. Nobody asks that. Okay, folks, in the real world, we don't ask that. You have somebody, we're human. At the end of the day, we have that human element. And that human element is what makes us cover the case. What brought us this case was the fact it defies logic. If this case was a run-of-the-mill, you know, case of a dementia grandmother walked out of her house, we would not be taking this case on. This case defies logic, and one thing that we do here on the Bullhorn Betty channel is pay attention to those logic-defying cases. And so this is just happens to be one of those horrible cases that we come across that grabs our attention, and now we want to know where the hell grandma is. And we're not going to stop until we find grandma. But at the end of the day, the Guthrie family's got to make some decisions here because, you know, we put a lot of skin in this game. I can tell you social media came out strong for them, very strong. But we need something from them too. We need something from them too. We need them to start ponying up some money for the reward, increasing that reward. We need to start having them, you know, maybe hire somebody to start facilitating some ground searches out there in the community. There needs to be something more that goes on here. What's going on is not working. Okay. And if their objective is to shut this case down, all this quiet is going to do just that. Nobody likes mainstream media, and the sheriff out there is only speaking to mainstream media. So you're going to lose interest in this case until you start having press conferences or start bringing social media into the fold. It's just that simple. So anyways, what a crazy case this has been, guys. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with me this morning. We are getting some information out there. We are bringing some evidence out there. So we've removed the Guthrie family. We removed Mexico as a possibility. And quite frankly, we're removing Luke Daly as a possibility as well. And unless his DNA comes back a match, because from everything we've learned, the man's in CODIS. And law enforcement has already come out and told us there has been no CODIS hit. And if there's no CODIS hit on the house or the glove, then we can't look at Luke Daly because his stuff is in CODIS. So if there's no hit, it's not him. If the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit. I'm just saying. So... lastly, a few things that we went over is the planes. I know we had several people that brought in some information. There's stuff on the black web or the dark web. If anybody knows anything about the dark web, I think we need to learn a little bit about the dark web. I think we need to learn about the do's and don'ts and the protections and what you wouldn't do for best practices when searching. I would recommend a standalone computer, not a computer you use every day, just a computer specifically just for that. Aw, thank you, baby love. Language, I will try to do better. I know I can, Sonia. Love all. We all cuss. And those rules for the cuss jar, those are my cuss jar rules, not your cuss jar rules. Actually, maybe we need to start making it your cuss jar rules. If you guys are cussing as much as Betty, maybe we need to start charging you. Thank you, baby love. Thank you. I appreciate it. So we need to go back through this. And tomorrow, guys, or later tonight, you know what I think we'll do tonight? This is what I think we'll do tonight. How many of you guys would like to do a recreation of lifting images from the back? Would you guys like to do that? Like us bring up the image from law enforcement and start working with the image and seeing if we can find the person or the vehicle in the back? How many of you guys would like to do that? 1 in the chat if you guys think that would be great for tonight, or 2 in the chat if you don't. 1 or 2. We could find a different topic of conversation, but since this stuff is hey, brown chicken, it's nice to see you. Melly, it's nice to see you. Nanos makes he does nanos makes us cuss. Yes. But I think it would be fun to do, not necessarily fun, but definitely educational to do that, the lifting. Maybe we might be able to find something in the background. Okay. So maybe we'll do that tonight. It is now. I'm trying because I know these kids don't need to be. Oh, gotcha. Oh, thank you. Fat Redial, it's nice to see you. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard, because I'm a love machine. Where's my danger zone? Hey, danger. Because I'm danger. Security threat. Right, security threat. Let's see what we got going on here. We got some tents back up, some people talking. Oh, and listen to this. I went back. Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna laugh. Is it that kid right there? No, it's not. I'm actually going to laugh. Oh, thank you guys. Woohoo! We made it to our goal. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. I forgot to tell you, I went back and looked. Remember that kid that Megyn Kelly lit up for dogging social media and saying, "Oh my God, the stuff that they're hearing has no factual." They're beating up social media, right? So, anyways, I went back and looked, and I know why. That cute little guy that was running his mouth about JLR or social media being out there, not the Inside Edition hit piece, a different one, right? I went back and I watched it and listen to this. So that guy, there was a blonde girl that walked up. She would not take her eyes off JLR. This kid went up to this blonde. You can see it all in JLR's video. And this was before he made those comments. And so there was this blonde girl, and you could see he kept going up there to try to talk to her and her friend as they were there by the flowers. And you could see her kept looking over at JLR. She kept eyeballing, or at least in that direction. I don't know if it was JLR specifically, but she was basically blowing off this reporter, the same reporter that went out there and attacked JLR. And so it dawned on me, he even got out with his camera and started right in front of this girl to try to look cool and talking about, da-da-da-da-da-da. You could see all of this in JLR's video. I believe that this is what set it off, because I went back to try to find out who that guy was, and so I went back to some of the videos and looked in the background for that guy to see what the whole issue is and stuff like that. And I could see multiple times him giving the stink eye to JLR, because JLR was camped out right next to him. But it was this blonde girl. I think this guy kind of had this hots for this blonde girl. Well, this blonde girl was blowing this guy off and staring in the direction of JLR. And again, got his phone out and was trying to look cool, like he was producing a video about this thing right in front of her. And then she just walks off, and he kind of just drops the phone and looks. And you could just see it in his face. And then it was shortly after that he comes out and starts dogging on social media. And I'm like, I think that is what it is. It was over a freaking girl. It was over a girl. So, anyways, the blonde-haired guy with the apparent wig was probably one of JLR's former cellmates. Probably. Betty, what about the neighbor who packed up all those boxes? JLR never followed up on these people. It was a van packing up 20 or more boxes. It was the background of his video. I remember that. I thought that was law enforcement. But you should go back into Jonathan's videos and just because as long as you do it on a computer, it scrolls really nicely so you can see what's going on, and you just have to follow. It's a long time, so you don't want to watch 12-hour days here. You just take the thing and just move it across until you get to that dark-haired kid, and then you just keep watching. You keep watching. You'll find it too. But the reason why I think it's that specific event, because it was shortly after that event happened that he went out and attacked social media. So that's what made me think it has to do with that blonde girl. So it was for the Gemstone show. I don't know what that is. If you guys want to send it to me, I'll Pondera. There was a gym. Oh, a gun show. A gun show that weekend. Yes, there was a firearms show that had like a gun event there in the community. I don't mind saying legit. Like if social media is going to knock me, they're going to knock me. I don't really care. We are not going to use. I mean, occasionally I'll use unaliving or substance abuse or something like that, but I'm not going to sit here and change our speech or actual English language of these cases to appease social media. I'm not doing that. I'm not PC. So if there's drugs, drugs, if you guys want to call it drugs, you can call it drugs. You don't have to use rugs. You don't have to use substance abuse. I'd prefer not the specific names being used, but for the purposes of small ears. But even then, I really don't care. I'm not changing how we speak to appease social media or the social media oligarchs. I just want to make sure you guys understand that we have integrity over here. We do journalism over here. We do activism over here. We do advocacy over here. But one thing we do not do over here is PC. If you are too sensitive to true crime, you don't need to be watching this stuff. We should not have to put trigger warnings on true crime, okay? True crime is ugly, it's brutal, it's emotional. If you can't handle it, you need to find maybe a yarn program or a knitting program or something that reduces your stress, not adds your stress on. True crime is not a pastime. It's a very stressful product, okay? It's a very stressful product. So if you can't handle the stress, this is not the topic of conversation for you. Just saying. Not to be rude, do you? But the real world is ugly. Okay? I'm not putting trigger warnings on real life. Real life is a freaking trigger warning. So just remember that. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. On cue. On cue. On cue. Hi, come on. They expect you. As soon as we do the outro, you come in. Oh, you want to stretch and look all cute. Look at that. On cue. On cue. You guys can hear the little bell. As soon as I say my little outro, you hear her pop off the bed. And what does she do? She runs in here. Why? Because she thinks she gets to go out and play BALL. Hey, Mommy, I just want to go play. Just want to go play, Mommy. Oh, that baby. That baby. That's a little baby girl. Riddle me this. Yeah, right? So everybody, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We will be out next week. And don't worry, Whispering Winds, the girls and I, we're going to go, I don't know when, but we'll make sure we send you a beautiful picture. Thank you so much. Hopefully, if you can't be out there, please be there in spirit, light a candle, put up a green light, do something in honor of Sebastian. If you can be there, do not be shy. Come up and say hi. We'll talk to you guys soon. All right. We'll see you soon. God bless.